Alright, well, happy Thursday morning all. I am headed out for a work commute today on the Ryker. Listen to that rattling seat. Oh, that's not annoying or anything. Well, in one of my previous vlogs, man, this thing's dusty. One of my previous vlogs, I mentioned that I thought maybe my toddler gave me this hickey. No, it is from the CanAm mounts. If the bars are in their rearmost position and you turn lock to lock, those guys whack your plastics right here. So I had to move my bars up one notch just to give me a little extra clearance, and hopefully, no, still going to contact. Look at that. So lock to lock, these things bang into that. So the handlebars are just a touch too low to allow enough clearance for those brackets. And those are the BRP brackets. So maybe there needs to be a little higher reach on this stem, lift it up, you know, 1/4 of an inch, a few millimeters, whatever, or maybe a little different bend in the bars. I don't know. Anywho, I don't even know why I'm putting these on. I'm going to take them off in just a second to get gas. Oh, well. Off we go. Ooh, I've had a crazy few weeks. My wife is out of town with our toddler, so I've got the 2 teens at home that I'm watching over, and work has just been nuts the last few weeks. I don't mind being busy. Busy is good. But everybody is having problems all on opposite corners of town. I have quite a few customers, and they are spread out throughout the Houston metro. And whenever there are system problems, virus outbreaks, whatever, invariably it hits multiple sites at the same time, and they will be on opposite corners of town. So for me to get to every one of those sites at the same time is real difficult. And then that's just the reactive work. My scheduled work, project-based stuff, network rollouts, expansions, things like that. Unfortunately, those are the more lucrative jobs for me, but they have to be put on hold to go take care of the reactive stuff. It's always a time management game. I need to figure out how to clone myself, or speed up my clock so that the real clock runs slower and I get more hours out of the day. I don't foresee either one of those happening. Yeah, so that's disappointing. These panels are the limited edition ones, so you can't get them once they go out of production. So now they're dinged up and there's no fixing that. Touch-up paint maybe, but whatever. The panels aren't that expensive, it's just the fact that you can't get them. I have some just plain gloss black ones that I purchased a couple months ago that I haven't put on here yet, so I guess I will put those on. And they won't show a scuff like that, even though the scuff will be there. Hey. Oh, I guess I won't use my normal pump. I always try to go to the same pump if I can, but it's busy today. Alright. Fuel time. So this is why I shouldn't even put the gloves on. Go. I've been trying to get out of the house for the last 2 hours. Working from home this morning on an early project at 5:30 a.m. But I keep getting more and more calls. And now I'm late for an appointment that I was supposed to be at 9:30. Of course, it's 10:30 already. Don't burp on me. I don't need a new cologne this morning. Well, it's really thirsty today. Yep, there goes pop. 1440. I'll leave it there. 4.67 gallons. Yikes. I forget how big this tank is. I think it's 5 gallons. 5 something, I don't know. Don't drip. Somebody left another card up here. Should I go in and check it? I think I'll go in and check it. Let's go check it. Okay, fueled up. Reset all my stats, recorded my mileage, normal routine. I checked that gift card that somebody left on top of the pump. Yeah, dead, of course. They just didn't throw it away. So, I threw it away. If it had money on it, I'd leave it in there on the counter and say, hey, if somebody comes back for this, let them know. But it was already flat. Oh, good Lord, it's hot today. Okay, which way do we go? Don't know which is my fastest route. Yep, see, I didn't spill any fuel, and this thing stinks like raw gas. Ugh. I'm gonna have this thing checked out. There's several issues. Drop it off at the dealer. Have them go through it. I want this vent hose, overflow hose thing sorted out. Yeah, I mean, I might as well have bathed in gasoline right now. It's so strong. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that can be done about that silly nonsense right there. The front hub's rusting out is really annoying, and then I'm going to have them check the fuel pump because I've noticed that it makes a very loud whine when it gets hot. So I don't know if that means it's failing or if that's a normal condition or what. But other Ryker owners lately have mentioned that there have been fuel pump issues and a couple of warranty claims. So I'll have mine checked out. Ah, man, this thing stinks. And it's going to continue stinking like this for the next, I don't know, hour. Until the fuel gets down about a gallon. I didn't notice that when I first got the bike. I'd say my first 2 or 3 fill-ups, I didn't notice it. But after that, it's been that way every single time I filled up. So, with all the chaos going on, my wife being out of town, all the crazy work stuff, I haven't had time to sort out all of my bikes to figure out what I'm selling, what I'm trading in, etc., etc. So my KTM 790 Adventure is still sitting over at the dealer in a crate waiting for me. I asked him not to even prep it until I pull the trigger. I've already given them the deposit to hold it, so it's mine whenever I go give them the rest of the money. But I just have not had the time, and I keep looking at the calendar going, oh yeah, okay, today's only Tuesday, oh, today's only Wednesday, oh, today's only Thursday. Jiminy! So far, 2 weeks have gone by already. I've got to get it done. I don't really want to bring another one home until I've made room in the garage, though. It's a recipe for not disaster, but more annoyance for me because I just don't have the space, and shuffling the bikes around is becoming a little annoying. And with as busy as I am, that will just be a continued situation, and then I'll have 17 bikes in the garage. Much to my wife's chagrin, she's not really happy about all the bikes. She tolerates my hobby because she's good with me. But my insurance creep is starting to get out of control. $100 here, $100 there per year. Some of them are much more expensive, $400 or $500 a year, but that's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. But when you have 15 of those, 16 of those, 17 of those, it starts adding up. Geico loves me. they're happy for me to keep buying bikes. So I was really hoping to do a couple of road trips, camping trips this summer, but the way things are shaping up, I don't know when I'm going to be able to peel myself away. I need to make a trip to San Antonio for work, and I was going to make that kind of combo trip, fun and work. But with my wife being out of town, that means I've got my daughter and my son in tow, which wouldn't be all that bad, but it changes the scope of things. More logistics, more people, more food, more whatever. And my daughter doesn't really like camping, so that means hotel or resort or something else. Come on, people, break it up. If you like the speed of the guy to the right, get behind him. Thank you. Catching on. Left lane passing on. So my original intention for the San Antonio trip, I was going to take my son out there with me because he likes doing the moto-camping routine, and we would ride the bikes out there. And I'd do my work for the day or day and a half, whatever it was going to take, and then we would spend another day or day and a half moto-camping at one of the state parks, kind of out in that direction. But if my daughter is along, then she doesn't like that, and that means we got to get a hotel, and things suddenly start getting much more expensive. So, I might just have to make that a day trip, drive all the way out there, do the job, however long it takes, and then come back. They're old enough and somewhat responsible enough that I can leave them home alone for a little while, but make that more than a one-day deal. And then, of course, summer is coming to a close for them. I was hoping that we'd be able to go somewhere. My wife had to go to Brazil somewhat unexpectedly for a family issue down there, and we changed our plans for this summer. So the kids have only got about, I think, 3.5 more weeks of summer left. My wife won't be back in town until, I don't know, 3rd of August or something like that. I'm trying to think of the quickest route to get all the way to the south side of downtown. 610 and Highway 90 area. I'm guessing West Park to 610, 610 south and around that way. I just don't know how much construction is over there at the 610 area now. It's been a bit congested. So 2 of the trips that I really wanted to make this summer, hopefully, if I can figure out a way to squeeze them in, are a beach trip on the Ryker. Just wanting to go down to either Matagorda Bay, or if I can swing it, I'll go much further south down to Corpus and North Padre area. The beaches are much nicer down there. Do a couple days of beach camping. If I can't swing that, then I definitely want to get up toward the northeast part of the Houston area. I guess it's kind of the east central part of Texas, the Davy Crockett National Forest area. I haven't been up there in a few years, and I'd like to do a 2 or 3 day camping trip up there, just kind of unwind. I don't know what I'll take for that, whether it'll be the Ryker or if I'll do something crazy like take the Cub, because it needs to do another good road trip. I need to shake out all my gear and my prep and ideas and everything for the scooter cannonball next July. It's a year away, but those things creep up fast. And then, beyond that, I want to take a trip back to Arkansas, go through the mountains up there, do some more mountain roads and whatnot. And for that, I will either take my XT250 again, which was really good on that last trip, minus my tire selection. We'll talk about that another time. And then if I don't take that, it would be the 790 Adventure, if I can get that project going. I'm trying to figure out how to get more hours out of my day. I get, on average, about 5 hours sleep a day. So I don't want to get that much thinner, lest I get dull and overly stressed. It is what it is. Limited time, limited resources. Try to pack in as much fun as I can, as much work as I can. Work hard, play hard. Never manners. So thinking about the bikes to unload, sell, trade in, whatever. I've got the list narrowed down to what I'm just not using that much anymore. Again, I don't really want to get rid of any of them because I enjoy them, but I just don't have the space or the continuing patience to want to maintain so many bikes at one time. So the short list is my 2008 Yamaha XT250, my 2013 Yamaha FZ6R, my Ducati Monster, the R1 Yamaha, and potentially either my Honda CB500F or the 500X. I really don't want to get rid of either one of those because they're such great machines. All of them are great machines, but I'm just not riding them that much anymore. I don't have the time. I mentioned it in one of my other videos a while back. I just don't have enough butts to ride all of them. So those are the ones that I'm getting the least use out of. Oh yeah, and my 2004 Honda Silverwing. I just haven't ridden it in forever. It served its duty as a commute bike and road trip bike back when I had fewer machines. I think I only had 2 or 3 back then. But I've just not ridden it that much lately, and I kind of got tired of using it as a commuter because the fuel economy wasn't great. It was, mid to high 40s, 50 to 52 under ideal circumstances on the highway. But it's just so heavy around town. It's kind of big. It goes through rear tires pretty fast too. Very torquey and it's heavy, so chews through rear tires a little quick. And then especially after I got my CB500X back in 15, so like 4 years ago, I stopped riding the Silverwing a lot because I just couldn't reconcile the difference in fuel economy between the bike and the scooter. And typically scooters get much better fuel economy than cars or most motorcycles, but the CB500X was getting 68 miles to the gallon during my normal commute paths and routines and whatnot. And it's just as comfortable, so I figured, geez, why am I riding the scooter when it's heavier and a little bit harder to manage, and it's getting much poorer fuel economy by like 20 points. So, and then of course, the Ryker, its fuel economy is not great, so that's why I don't use it as my everyday commuter. I take it out every now and then when I'm in the right mood and I don't get pissed off with the handling issues, but 31, that's as good as a car in most cases, just an economy car. So judging by my fuelie stats, this one is actually the lowest fuel economy in my stable right now. I haven't tracked the economy on the Ducati Monster or the Yamaha R1, but both of those are higher than this by a few points. I have, I think my R1 averages about 34, and the Monster gets around 38. So they're higher than this guy. And again, for most people, there's probably a lot of people listening to that and they're like, yeah, big deal. But for me, it is a big deal because of the number of miles that I put down every year. I'm always always commuting around Houston for work. The last few months have been a little lower on the duty cycle than normal because I've been working from home as much as possible with the baby, the toddler at home. And now I'm watching the kids because my wife is gone. But the minimum that I lay down every year commuting for work is 40,000 miles. I've never gone under that, and this year is on track to be above that. So I seem to be averaging between 40 and 65 over the last couple of years. Before that, it was higher, much higher, like 75 to 90 a year. So that adds up. Fuel costs are nothing to sneer about when you're talking about that many miles, especially a car or something that doesn't get very good fuel economy. You switch over to a bike that's getting at least, let's say, 50 miles to the gallon, 45, something like that. That's usually double what most cars get, and it cuts your fuel costs in half. So I haven't done the math in a few years on the totals for the fuel that I'm spending, but Fueling could give me that if I really pulled it up. Of course, I don't track my cars and Fueling, but anyway. So this is the area. I'm not quite sure how bad the congestion, and lane closures, and detours and all that are going to be. We'll find out shortly. This area has been undergoing a lot of construction for the last couple of years, and the closures and detours are a little hard to navigate. Back to the fuel mileage on this Ryker. I'm sure I've made note of it before, but the odd thing about it is it doesn't really matter how you ride it, drive it, whatever you want to call it. If you're really nice to it, you might get 31, barely 32. If you flog the hell out of it, you might get 29. So there's not a huge spread in the performance, how it behaves, or the net economy of it. Yeah, so that just a little anecdote there about how the Ryker is to operate and live with on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how nice you are to it. Fuel economy is going to be roughly the same. Lanes like this suck on the Ryker, at least on my rally, where you've got a seam that you're having to dodge, because if you touch that seam, it drags the bike all over the place. Normally with a motorcycle, both wheels are going to do it at the same time because you got a single track. With the Ryker, you got clear on the front two wheels, or one of the wheels is getting dragged around in this. It sucks. Houston, you can't really avoid those because they're right in the middle of where you need to be most of the time, and that's going to be kind of a problem with any three-wheel vehicle. These center seams and tar snakes and that sort of thing, they're not usually in the path for cars, and that's done intentionally. The road stripes and the lane markers and all that take cars into account. They don't take motorcycles or three-wheel vehicles into account. So you won't see a seam like that sitting where a wheel track would be for a vehicle. They just don't do that unless you're crossing over it at a shallow angle or something. Anyway, three-wheel vehicles, you got to look out for those things. And these suck on the Ryker too. These rumple strips for the lane markers, the lane reflectors, they really yank the steering in that direction when you hit them. So if changing lanes or go through an area where they've got those rumple lane markers, man, be paying attention, because when you hit them, it's going to yank real hard that direction. So yeah, it's a fairly common commute distance for me to get to a lot of my customer sites. We're looking at 40 miles, and I'm not even there yet. So that's just one way. My normal routine is probably about 120 to 150 miles a day. So yeah, average would be about 120 to 150 miles a day. And sometimes it can be well beyond that, especially if I have to go up to the Woodlands or Conroe area or something like that. All right, well, I'll go ahead and shut it down here and try to rejoin you this afternoon.